CIG TV News Brief, community news and weather forecast for this Wednesday. I'm Donna Bush. Work crews from the Planning Department were assessing private properties while the Public Works and National Roads Authority departments were out in full force early Wednesday morning, conducting damage assessments on public buildings and roads across Grand Cayman. This after a Tuesday's 7.7 on the Richter scale earthquake was felt across the three Cayman Islands just after 2 p.m. and the aftershocks that followed. We've been told that so far no damage has been identified that was caused by the earthquake on government-owned structures and buildings, which are still being assessed. And after a long night of keeping a watchful eye on the situation following the earthquake, on Wednesday morning, Premier Alden McLaughlin and His Excellency Governor Martin Roper were joined by Home Affairs Minister Tara Rivers, Director of HMCI Danielle Coleman, and Deputy Commissioner of Police Kurt Walton to meet the press. The high-ranking officials praised the quick response by those responsible for putting the plan into action after the shocking event. Here are some excerpts.
And I've been here over a year. I've been involved in some exercises, but it was the first time I've seen a real crisis in action. And I was impressed at how quickly our systems got to grips with what was happening and got messages out. So I think we should all be very grateful for that. We should also, I think, take credit for the fact that we got the islands up and running again very quickly. The port is open, the airport is open, we have 6 cruise liners here today. Water very quickly restored in some areas and checks going on. So we've done an awful lot very quickly to get back to normal. Often in these crises, keep calm and carry on is the mantra, and I saw a lot of that in action yesterday, and I think Caymanians and our citizens can be proud of that response.
We have, as a government, continued to invest in finding solutions to anticipated problems. And as the Premier said, an earthquake and a sudden onset event such as that is certainly something that we could anticipate, but you never really know when and how it's going to hit or affect the country. So one of the things, obviously, that we've invested in starting from 2018 that we were actually be able to test yesterday was the emergency notification system to interrupt, the radio broadcast interrupt. And as far as, reports that we've received from coming out of places like Canada and otherwise, international press that have covered this incident, were very complimentary and praised the efforts that their citizens on the ground experienced when they heard the radio interrupt, the frequent radio interrupts. So to the point that the governor has said, this is an area that we invested in, we were able to test in a real incident, and going forward, the members of the team at Hazard Management and the other, Department of Public Safety and Communications and the other emergency responders will be looking to roll out the second phase of this emergency notification interrupt, and that is anticipated to be a mobile app.
There is a cautionary note, though, that I wish to sound. I've thought about how well we would be able to respond to this had this occurred at night. It would have been a very, really different situation. And I think we need to do some evaluation, some assessment ourselves, and determine how we would respond if that were to be the case. And the thing with earthquakes, unlike hurricanes, sometimes we have more than a week to prepare for a hurricane. This, we don't know at all. And so you're flailing about, quite frankly, to think about how do we respond to this, what do we do?
And residents are encouraged by officials to always have a plan in place. Immediately following Wednesday's press briefing, journalists toured where first responders meet to gather and send information to the public. The team at the Hazard Management Headquarters was busy communicating with their international and local partners, allowing them to send a tsunami advisory just minutes after the earthquake. This hub is where communicators and other agencies come to follow the plan for such disasters. It's where a timeline is kept, where digital maps showing the epicenter of the earthquake are seen, and the aftershocks can also be viewed. HMCI Director Danielle Coleman tells us more.
We're still getting reports of aftershocks. So we're about 16 now. Aftershocks, the last one coming in about an hour ago. We do expect these will carry on throughout the next couple of weeks potentially. So we're really asking the public to be vigilant and making sure that they do have a plan in place to ensure that any kind of aftershock, they know what to do. We've also addressed the issue of mental health right now because, of course, it is a really big part of what we've all been going through the last 24 hours. It's really important that, families have the discussions as to what happened yesterday, so we're not festering the kind of concerns. And again, we're working closely with the Ministry of Health and the HSA to ensure that we are going to address that and make sure some of our messaging coming out is focusing on mental health and, again, ways and means of dealing with that. And we've worked very closely with the RCIPS over the last 24 hours, wherever it's been, again, with the assessing the actual damage from the helicopter very, very early on yesterday. After the alert was made. We will continue to do notifications via social media, press releases and so forth. We won't be using at this stage, unless something critical happens, the National Emergency Notification Radio Interrupt. You may have heard it several times yesterday. We played that about 9 times yesterday to get the word out. But again, we feel confident that having it all clear from the tsunami, we won't be using that unless we really have to.
On Tuesday, there were reports of sinkholes across various areas of Grand Cayman on private properties after the earthquake hit us just 80 miles east of the Sister Islands. Again, officials tell us that the first responders on Cayman Brac opened the Aston Ruddy Center to around 300 Brac residents, including patients from the Faith Hospital. Cayman Airways closed all non-essential flights and some of their offices, and not long after that, and the Water Authority checked for leaks in their pipelines after some residents experienced low water pressure. Meantime, parents of students in public schools should go online to caymanprepared.ky to find out whether schools will reopen on Thursday. Meantime, the Cayman Islands Health Services Authority is advising their patients that any appointments that were missed or canceled on the afternoon of the 28th of January due to the earthquake will be rescheduled. They say they will be contacting patients individually, or patients may call 949-8600. And they're, of course, thanking patients for their understanding and apologizes for any inconvenience caused. Now it's time to meet another Proud of Them recipient, Abigail Seymour.
I attend CCC school and I mainly study sciences.
I've been a teacher at CCC school where she is enrolled as a student. I taught her in grade 9 world history. I taught her in grade 10 world geography. And of course I see her around the school, but I don't teach her this year. And next year I'll teach her again in grade 12 Brit K, British Canadian history.
My most outstanding academic achievements to date are I have been awarded numerous Principal's Academic Awards, and I've also been awarded first place in the Adventures in Citizenship essay competition earlier this year. And I also participated in the Minds Inspired math competition in 2017 and in 2019.
She's very imaginative. She's very hardworking. She has a good, healthy sense of competitiveness, and she likes to do things and do them well on time. She is one of the students who will come and ask if she's not quite clear on something, because she wants to make sure that what she's going to give is her very best effort.
I mainly want to do the best I can in whatever I choose to pursue, but I mainly want to pursue veterinary medicine or some other form of medicine.
Academically, both in grade 9 in world history and grade 10 in world geography, she was my top student, and there are a lot of good students in her year group. So she is right up there in the forefront for top student 9 through 12, I would say, in my opinion.
I'm honored. I'm also surprised. I wasn't exactly expecting it, but I'm happy that I was able to get this opportunity.
And of course, tomorrow we invite you to join us when we hear more about recipient Aaliyah Myers. Now for a check on other community stories making Radio Cayman headlines this Wednesday. Radio Cayman received an update from Sister Islands MLA, Tourism Minister and Deputy Premier, the Honorable Moses Colonel, who gave them an initial report from the Sister Islands after the the earthquake on Tuesday. He says there was no loss of life and all government buildings are currently being assessed as they are in Grand Cayman for structural damage. The minister thanked the district administration and public works departments under the leadership of the district commissioner, Mr. Ernie Scott, and works manager Justin Bodden, and all the civil and public servants on the BRAC who quickly put into action the emergency plan, all while staying safe on the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. And of course, for more on this and other Radio Cayman stories, you can go online to radiocayman.gov.ky. Turning now to the forecast from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Light and variable winds and smooth seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. This is in association with a slack pressure gradient over the Northwest Caribbean. Radar images show no showers in the Cayman Islands area. And of course, today's forecast from the CINWS app. You can go online there and get the very latest from them. Meantime, today's high temperature reached 84 degrees. The low was 74. Fair skies with less than 20% chance of showers were expected. Winds were from the southeast at 5 knots, and seas are smooth to slight with wave heights of less than 2 feet. And of course, another reminder that you can go to gov.ky, that's weather.gov.ky for the latest forecast, or you can download that app, as I mentioned earlier, CINWS. And that ends today's news update here on CIG TV. If you missed it, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page or the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, wishing you a wonderful and, of course, a very safe night, and hoping you'll join us back here again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has launched a new service to apply for a police clearance certificate online. To make this process quick and easy, ensure you have digital copies of all required documents readily available. At a minimum, you'll need a copy of your passport photo page. Our website lists the full requirements. If you are using an Apple iOS or Android mobile device, you can use the camera to take photos of these documents while completing your application. After you have read the instructions and are ready to start, type in the alphanumeric string from the CAPTCHA image and click the green button that says Start Application. If you can't read the letters and numbers properly, click Can't Read Image below the photo to try again. To complete your application, you will follow 5 simple steps. These are shown at the top of each page, and the blue circle will always show where you are right now. Enter the requested data in each field. All fields marked with an asterisk are required. Each field has some help information, and please pay attention to the correct format for dates and telephone numbers in particular. When selecting your birthday, you can also use the calendar feature. If a field has a drop-down list, you can scroll through alphabetically or start typing to find the correct option. You will be asked to enter your email address twice to ensure it's correct. This is the address we will use to send you a confirmation email and receipt. Once you have entered all of the required information, click Next at the bottom of the screen. If you click the Cancel Application button at any stage in the process, you will lose everything you've entered so far and be returned to the home page. On this page, answer the questions about past offenses, provide details if relevant, and then click Next. In this step, you will select the type of service being requested and details of the person applying, as well as anyone who might pick up the certificate on his or her behalf. If you select certain options, more information may be required at this stage or later in the process when you are uploading your documents. Finally, select the reasons you are applying and then click Next. If you make a mistake, use the drop-down menu to change the reason or click the red X to delete a line. Remember, if you click the Cancel Application button at any stage in the process, you will lose everything you've entered so far and be returned to the home page. If you need to go back to a previous page to review or change data you already entered, you can use the Back button. You can also navigate through the process using the links at the top of the page. On this page, you will be asked for the relevant digital documents to support your application. On each line, click the Upload icon, select the correct file, and then click Upload. Repeat this process for each document. Based on the information you've already entered, this page will tell you the basic documents required. However, please remember to read the guidance notes to ensure you've included everything for your particular application. You can click the Upload More Documents button if you need to add more files, using the Comments field to briefly explain the additional documents you are submitting. If you go back to previous sections after uploading documents and make changes that affect these requirements, you may need to re-upload your documents. This is the final page before submission. Please review all information provided to ensure it is accurate and complete. You won't be able to change anything on this page, but you can use the back button or the links at the top of the page to return to earlier pages and update any field. By submitting this application, you are declaring that the information provided is accurate and truthful. If you are satisfied with your application, click Proceed to Online Payment. You may need to allow pop-ups and then click the button again to show the payment screen where you will enter your debit or credit card information. The Cayman Islands government accepts Visa and MasterCard, and you can use a debit or credit card issued anywhere in the world. Payment will be processed in Cayman Islands dollars for local service, and in United States dollars for overseas service. If you have questions about any exchange rate that will be used, or foreign currency transaction fees, please contact the bank that issued your card. The Cayman Islands government will not receive or retain your card information. Once your online payment has been authorized, you can view and print your receipt. Click Continue to return to our webpage for details on pickup date and time. If there is an issue with your application and we have to contact you for more information, your application may be delayed. You will also receive a confirmation email with this information and your official receipt. Please remember to bring your passport for identification when you collect your certificate from the Criminal Records Office.
I'm Jody Ann Fowry. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows, and the back doors are sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.